Hey everybody, Gareth Soloway here, pro trader at inthemoneystocks.com, as well as verifiedinvestingeducation.com and verifiedinvestingcrypto.com. So I'm trying this out. This is more of a test, so just bear with me as I kind of see if I can do this. We're trying to connect it through Twitter Live and then through YouTube, but just making sure that everything works. But the idea here is to take you guys into the opening bell on the stock market and get us rocking and rolling. So remember, and this is key, when we get into our trading mode, if you're a swing trader, you're a day trader, it doesn't matter. Number one, you need to be level and unbiased, no emotion. You want to look at the chart, let the chart tell you what it's showing you. Okay, and that will ultimately give us insight into the best probability trade setups that are out there. Okay, so I really want to encourage everyone to really focus on that and, basically maintain a level playing field for yourself, because that will increase your profitability, or at least your optimal profitability in trading. Good morning, everyone. Good to see everyone joining me. This is kind of a test, as I said, but I may start to do these a little bit more often, maybe, early in the day or early in the morning before the markets open, giving people an insight into what the action I'm looking at in the stock charts is for the day. And obviously we can talk about crypto, commodities, and so forth. You know what? Let's get right into a chart here. I want to show you guys. I'm going to show my chart in 1 second here. But one of the charts I'm looking at as a key reversal is on this chart here of natural gas. So natural gas, guys, again, I love the reversal we're seeing on natural gas here. Look at this major support level. Look at this level right here. This morning, natural gas was lower. It's now surging to the upside. Look at the intraday 10-minute chart. Look at this breakup right here. I wouldn't be surprised if natural gas has put in a near-term low pivot and it could be ready to rally. So how high could it go? Let's talk. All right, so in terms of a rally, and I'm looking at the natural gas daily chart, and that's kind of going to be where you're going to focus in. So short-term resistance, you're going to go to former support. Remember, so former support is equal to your now resistance. So $3.50 would be first resistance. If it gets through there, there's a gap fill up around 438. And if you really get a bull move, then this level at 532 would be the spot. But right now, as an investor, I think for me, it's more just saying, okay, you have an oversold commodity here. Everyone's kind of super bearish on it. That makes me generally bullish. And therefore, I'm going to be looking for at least a bounce back to $3.50 on natural gas. Okay, aside from that, we all know that Netflix had earnings yesterday after the bell. Again, Netflix gapping up. Remember, this was your former resistance, right? So pivot low, pivot low. Notice how, again, you hit this, pulled back, hit this, pulled back. Now what are we seeing? We're seeing a gap higher on earnings. Right now, Netflix is trading at 337. The level today to watch for on Netflix is now this official gap fill at 349 to 350. So if you see Netflix get to 350, that's likely going to be the resistance point that we want to focus on. Okay, so again, just kind of focus on that, and we'll see if that kind of comes through. Does Netflix have a surge up to 350? Interestingly enough, initially after the earnings were released yesterday, it did trade up there. But usually, and this is a key wise word, pre-market and after-market highs and lows do not fulfill the gap fill need of a chart. A chart still needs to officially fill it during market hours, all right, for stocks. Crypto's different. You don't really get a lot of gaps because of crypto. Okay. Ronak saying, will you consider closing your SDS and QID at the next support level? Well, so we're in the money on those trades. Those are short trades. We're long those ETFs, but they're short the S&P and short the NASDAQ. And the idea here is that when we get that bigger pullback, I will look to close them when support is hit, right? So they'll go up when the market falls. And again, once we hit support, I will look to close those out. Okay, let's look at a couple other charts here. And there's not a whole lot moving. Again, earnings-wise, we're not seeing a ton. I'm seeing JWN dropping a little bit today. It's only down $1. This is Nordstrom's. And Nordstrom, again, to me, there'll be a little bit of support around 1550. I don't think it's playable for me. The one big level down the line I'll be focusing on here is going to be this one right here. This is a gap fill at $13. That would be major support. Plus, it's cushioned by the double bottom right below it. So you guys know how I work, right? In terms of trading opportunities, what I love is basically looking at levels that have multiple technical factors. And again, I teach these in the Verified Investing courses, the Winning Trader series. And you want to find a level that has multiple factors, but you always go into a trade thinking that it may break. I know that's a weird concept to think, well, I'm going to buy here, but I need to be prepared if it breaks. And then the key is on that chart of Nordstrom, if it does break, where is my next support to add to that position? It's essentially, you guys know I don't buy full positions when I first start a position. And this, by the way, this comes from a history of getting bludgeoned in my early career with losses left and right? So to go into a market as an early trader, and back then, I scrounged up 10K. I started trading on my own, and it was loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. And then maybe I'd have like 10 winners in a row. I think I was the king of the castle, right? And then what happens? The market slams you down, and your inability to cut a loss then wipes out all those 10 gains. I mean, that was me. That was me to a head. And so ultimately what it did was I developed this process of saying, okay, how do I mitigate from big losses? How do I mitigate from losing trades? And the way I do that is by buying starter positions. Then at the next technical level, I add to it. So in terms of Nordstrom here, $13, and then the next level would be basically just below $12. And ultimately the probabilities, and everything we do here is probabilities. We know that at a next level, so the probability of a bounce here is probably 70% if it comes straight into it. But there's still 30% chance it doesn't do it. So then if it goes down here, again, you have 70%, maybe even 75, 80% chance. So at one of these, the odds are going to work in your favor for a big technical bounce. And that's what we get into. That's where we do it. And there's the market opening, by the way. The stock market is opening. I said I'd take you guys into the opening bell here. Right off the bat, here's your daily chart of the SPY. Even off of Netflix earnings, we're only up slightly here. So again, not a big move by any stretch. Spiders are up about 1/3%. And again, my big question, and I went over this for members in the Verified Investing Alerts daily video at In the Money Stocks yesterday, is basically what are we going to form here, right? So in the daily chart, you have this big reversal, gap down yesterday. Are we going to have a big shot back up, or are we going to make a bear flag, which then leads us to our next leg down, which eventually retests here, eventually retests down here as well? So again, that's one of the things we want to be aware of. Yes, I saw Genesis filing for bankruptcy. Yes, I do expect a dollar bounce soon, which is actually bearish for the market. If we look at this chart here, lots of support right in here. We have this trend line as well, which we're below. But my guess is if I had to put money on it, and again, I'm not really, I'm not even in gold right now as a swing trade. I mean, long term, obviously, I have my gold snuggled away. But for me, I expect the dollar to rally back here before maybe taking another leg lower. So I am optimistic that the dollar will bounce. Netflix not doing anything, pulling back a little bit there. Nothing on that radar. Natural gas is also pulling back a little bit, although still green, up 1.5% on the UNG as well. China stocks are on my radar here as well. Take a look at Alibaba. I have a gap fill on Alibaba at 121. It's also a measured move. So take a look at this, guys. All right, this is some cool stuff here. Let's see here. Price range. So if you take the low end here to this high, that's about $37, and then take the low end here to 37, right around there, and you basically get 121, 122, which is also your gap fill. So that would be what we would refer to as a measured move. All right, last I'm going to do a quick check on Bitcoin. And again, Bitcoin here, basically flat on the day. Yesterday, we had a small up day after the down day prior. And what I'm really watching for on Bitcoin, guys, and this is my short term, all right? Long term for me, still bearish on Bitcoin. Nothing has changed about that. But I want us to be clear that, longer, midterm, I should say, I still see downside. But in the near term, we have to see, are we consolidating in a bullish pattern here, which could yield a move up still to 25,000? Or does it break this lower yellow line and then do we see a retrace to 18,400? So basically, remember, the charts tell us, and I stress this because so many people are like, well, what's Gareth saying? You know, whatever he says rules. And the answer is no, not whatever I say rules, whatever the charts say rule. And I just translate it for you guys. So even though I'm midterm bearish, still thinking there's more downside, if this starts to make a bullish pattern, I have to be a flexible investor and trader and say, okay, now probabilities start to favor the upside, right? And that's the real key here. So that's the bottom line. So right now it's a wait and see on the Bitcoin chart, and we'll see what the Bitcoin chart obviously shows us here in the coming days. A bull flag, you want to see about 7 consolidation candles or more. That gives you a mature bull flag. Again, that's from the Winning Trader series at Verified Investing Education. All right, guys, I think that's really all I want to do. This was more of a test, but I love the response. I love seeing this. I'm not sure if Twitter followers were able to jump in. Hopefully they were. I tried to do it so it went live on all these platforms. But again, as always, folks, love seeing you guys coming on out. And I look forward to really keeping up with this. I don't know if I'll do it every day, but I'm going to try to figure out something. Thank you, Ugly, 142 likes. Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right, you guys have a wonderful one. I'm going to tell you, I will alert you next time. This was just a test, and it will go from there. Thank you, Mr. Stingray. Test successful. Take care, guys.